Hello everyone and welcome back to Crater City here at the Gemini grinder. So behind me here you can see that I have finished up the redstone wiring on the revised version of the witch farm. There's still the odd little bug that I need to sort out. The dispensers kind of stick if the chunk unloads while the water's out and stuff, so it ends up being stuck, but I've got a couple buttons behind there. I have some ideas on how to fix that, but for today we're going to be addressing another need of the Gemini grinder, which is that for golden nuggets, which we can mostly only get as drops from zombie pigmen, so we get to build a portal farm. And while I do that, I'm going to discuss a few of the finer points that I think are quite salient when discussing mob spawners and grinders in general. So, with that, let's get to work. So, what happens with nether portals these days in the overworld is that occasionally a zombie pigman will spawn next to them. Now usually, I don't know if this is absolutely always the case kind of thing, they will not walk through the portal and end up on the other side. And the more portals you have, the higher the odds are that you'll get a zombie pigman to spawn. So a gold farm, as it were, in the overworld needs to rely on having a lot of nether portals in very close proximity, ideally in as efficient a form as possible. So, this is what I have so far, a 19 by 19 by 5 area. And I want to expand that later, because this is probably 6 by 6 by 1 in portals. I want to expand that to 7 by 7 by 7, which is way up in the tallest points. And that gets a fairly constant stream of zombie pigmen at that scale, but for the moment, that's fairly expensive. This is how much obsidian I've managed to gather so far, and I've nearly destroyed this pick doing it. So I'm going to get to work putting this together, and praying I don't misplace a single block, but we'll see. So, making mob spawners, well, specifically making grinders. The first thing you want to know is it needs to be rapid. You don't want to be standing around for absolute ages waiting for all of the mobs to spawn so you can actually get a decent crop, whether it be from items or experience. In this case, I'm mostly going to be addressing experience. So on that note, the witch hut, not so great. Mob spawners, like we have in the Gemini grinder with the 2 skeleton spawners, are better. They also have one of the added benefits of being much easier to control. But in general, I would say devoted mob systems, not unlike the Ender that we have here, that I believe Miguel built. I'm not 100% certain. Is probably the best in terms of rapidity, because you can get about like 100 or so different Endermen in short order. Next on that list then is efficiency. You want to keep only the drops you want from the mobs. In the case of the witches, that's more or less all of them. Although we might start filtering out things like sticks eventually. And in the case of these zombie pigmen, it's going to be golden nuggets. In the case of the Endermen, we do have a massive backlog at the Ender of Ender Pearls, but the Endermen don't really drop anything else. Worryingly, we don't have a hookup to actually keep a supply, a minimum volume of Ender Pearls and drop the rest, so they just kind of build up in massive selections. Okay, you also want to reduce the mobs to a minimal health. This is to make it easier for you to actually farm them. In the case of just farming for items, that minimal health is in fact 0. In the case of XP grinding, it's like maybe ideally half a heart of health. So over here with the witches, we reduce them to 0 by dropping them outright, because the witches actually have more health than a human player. They have 26 health, the player has only 20. And in the case of the Gemini grinder, we drop them to reduce them to 1 or a half a heart. It's a little fuzzy for some reason, I'm not sure why. And you then want to produce all of the materials necessary to grind them on site. So for example, when I originally built the Gemini grinder, I had a couple of chests at the base of the altar, so to speak, that are filled with stone swords, because those allow you to one-hit the skeletons with the health that they land on. But we are now expanding our enterprise to allow for the use of healing potions, which we can use the potion bottles and the gunpowder from our witches, but we need to make a melon farm and this gold farm to make the glistering melons that goes into that. As you've seen before, I do have an automated setup for actually cooking those, and I'm out of obsidian, so grab a couple more stacks. Now, in the case of the Ender, nothing is produced on site. You have to punch every single one of the Endermen to death. From minimal health, I will grant. But it's not quite as efficient. And that kind of brings me on to our next point here, which is that the grinder must be user-friendly. Firstly, this means safe to use. You don't want to be using a grinder that has a risk of, say, a creeper landing and blowing up in front of you, especially right now, since if you're not armored, creepers are basically a one-hit. Oh, and of course the sun's going down, lovely. So from there, with the witches, you don't have to worry at all. With these guys, you're not going to have to worry at all, because they'll be dead without you ever, more or less, ever encountering them. And with the Ender, however, is a lot less safe. It's a lot less user-friendly in that regard, because it is entirely possible for you to stare at an Enderman, and they'll either teleport out to the short stairway outside of it, or they'll just whack you whilst they're in the containment that you're punching into. Which is a little less likely, because you have a fairly decent range as far as hitting things goes. But it is a problem. Okay. And of course, you also want to make sure that the site itself is secured. So we've got all of these torches lying around everywhere in a nice uniform pattern now, at least, to prevent mob spawning, so that mobs don't, for example, spawn right behind you whilst you're idling and waiting for a decent crop, which again ties into efficiency and such. But either way, one point that I personally like to hold is you should be able to farm XP or drops using as few mouse clicks as possible. So in the case of just a straight, I need to get items from these mobs kind of grinder, you just have to kill them. They just have to drop. You have you have zero involvement in that. You don't have to click a single key. You don't have to stand in a single place, although you may, depending on how you're sorting things. And you don't have to worry at all about being cautious with your mouse clicks or worrying about your health. Because bear in mind, every single time you punch a mob at the Ender, you lose a bit of hunger. Because it qualifies as an attack. And there's a zombie about to strike me, isn't there? Well, I can see a skeleton over there as well. Nope. Gotcha. Fortunately, the interior of this is A, going to be sealed off, and B, going to be fairly well lit up, actually, by the portables once they're done. Okay, where is that zombie? I have actually seen zombies, like, spawn and begin tracking me from the exact opposite end of this lit field. It's kind of staggering their reach these days. Okay, I need to get up a block. Here we go. Yep, there they are. I think he's spotted me now. Oh well, sucks to be him, he can't hit me this far up. And oh joy. Yep, that's quite a few of them, isn't there? Okay, now they can. My fault. Eeh, get up, get. Okay. Little bit of parkour to make this worthwhile. Scarpa. Okay, let's get into bed. Ow. Ay. Okay, so yeah, that is not presently safe. It will be safe when it's done, but that's a point against it right now as far as grinders go. So yeah, minimal clicking, because no one wants to get a repetitive strain injury trying to get a level 30 enchantment or anything. No one wants to get a repetitive strain injury killing witches to get glowstone, although we have a fair bit of glowstone in stock right now. It's just not getting pumped up here, because the next thing we make after this is probably an iron farm. After that, minimal time investment. I spoke earlier about idling. You don't want to be idling. Idling is bad for the server overall. It's bad for you personally, because it means that you have to have your computer running a process that is not really doing anything. It's not fun at the heart of it. It's not really very interesting. It's certainly not entertaining footage to have someone stood next to a grinder for about the next 5 hours, or even just 1 hour. Like the Witch Hut, for example, produces a witch maybe at best, I think, every few minutes it produces a new witch, and there is a creeper over there. I should sort that out, because that's not good. That is less efficient than it should be. But yeah, the witch hut, really slow in terms of a mob farm, so not ideal. Whereas the Ender, really fast, so you don't have to wait too long. You just have to wait a little bit of time, but not too long, so I've been using that recently. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, you don't really want people standing around your mob farm. A mob farm is a place you go, you get your stuff, and you leave. That's the whole point of the farm. And for what little time someone is around a mob farm, this is my final point on this list, you don't want them to be bored. Because if someone's bored, then they're going to despise going to your grinder. You don't necessarily want it to be a fun experience, like you don't want people to say, hey, I'm going to have some fun, I'm going to go to the mob grinder. But you don't want them to say, oh, I have to go back to the mob grinder. It's like that's one of the marks against the Ender as far as I'm concerned, because it takes ages to get there. Because you have to go to spawn, to go to Sterling Tower, which is Falaron's building, and then you take the rail line to get to the archaeology project he's got running, and then you take the line there to the end portal. All of these are fairly long rides, it needs to be said. If you remember when I was playing Carpenter Station with Teggett and the other guys, I had my station had a chest cart and a work cart, literally so that people could do something whilst they were on the rails. Because it is otherwise a grim and dull job to be doing, so let's see. Let's not, let me just check 1, 2, 3, and then we cap like that. Right. Get myself a walkway while I'm doing this as well. Which is good, because I'm actually almost out of obsidian again. Yeah, obsidian is a really annoying thing to mine as well. Jeez, so slow. Much dull. Okay. Where was I in my ever-rambling discussion here? Okay, so you want people to have things to do whilst they're just waiting. Even if it's a small amount of time, they could, in the case of... Oh, balls. Knew I was going to do that eventually. In the case of here, at the Gemini grinder, for example, they can use the crafting, they can use the smelting, they can make some books. They can repair some stuff if they got some levels on them. So there's all these different things that you can be doing. In fact, you could just be walking around admiring the scenery, for example. If there is something entertaining to do, not necessarily like a huge drawer or even just like a gigantic mini game or something, then going to a mob grinder is less a menial chore and more just a thing, like something that happens every now and then. And that's kind of how it should be. A mob grinder shouldn't be boring. It doesn't have to be like the center of attention, but it shouldn't be boring either. Doop. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, I am nearing the end of my present obsidian supply here. So the next question then is, how does the Gemini grinder area here match up in terms of that list? Well, rapidity, we can get the better part of 100 skeletons in just a few minutes at top speed. We're also pulling a fair few witches, and we'll be pulling a fair few on pigmen once this is finished up. Doop, and doop, and doop. So it's the spawners. We've got the mob spawners for our rapidity. It's not a dedicated system, and most of the lighting up underground is to improve the witches, which you don't get any experience from, but you do get a bit of a fair few useful drops from, which we use here on the site, in fact, which is good. We've got some on-site generation of stuff. Doop. Ooh, I had another stack there. Okay. I think I worked out this is about 10 stacks or so. Can I see the pig wandering around there? What is curious is I'm not sure what this is going to do if anyone tries to build a nether portal around here. Like me, for example. Be interesting to see. Okay, so next on that list then is efficiency. Well, the skeletons are reduced to 1.5 hearts I kind of wish I had the little mob thing in the top left there to tell me how much health they had, but for some reason it seems to fluctuate in more recent versions of Minecraft. I had that problem when I was building stuff in Monroeville. But yeah, they reduced their minimal health. These zombie pigmen and these witches are all going to be reduced to 0 health, so we can get their drops, because that's all we're interested in. Not really interested in their experience, which is good, because they're not also being produced at a high enough rate to justify experience. Okay. And I think this is it for now. So we've got a nice 6x6x1 of portals. And now we can begin the agonizing task of lighting them all. Okay, so we're keeping only the wanted drops. We've got bone meal, which we're using to generate wheat, and we're keeping arrows, and we are keeping equipment. Unfortunately, we can't filter out high durability bows or high durability armor or enchanted armor as yet. So there have been people who've done some interesting stuff along those lines, but we can't filter that out just yet. So we haven't got. So we're keeping all of those, even though we don't necessarily want all of them. And I think I had a flint and steel around somewhere. I'm fairly certain I did. Apparently not. But that's fine, I think we can make one. It's not that difficult at crafting. Just need a piece of flint. Bingo. Actually, I'm probably going to need more than one of these. And oh, my armor broke. Yeah, we're still getting the weirdness where, yeah, you can see that white box down there. I'm not sure what causes that. Oh, and might help if you actually crafted it. There. Okay. So yeah, keeping only the wanted drops, minimal health, producing materials that we need on site. That is what we're up to right now. We are building our gold source, and melons are probably next on the list. We're never going to have an iron farm around here, because I make so many hoppers. And also, I've always been kind of faithful, as it were, to just using... what's that? Oh, that's not even... the competition. I've always been quite faithful to using iron tools. Diamonds have always seemed a bit more of a luxury to me. Okay. Let's get rid of this, because we don't need to go up there anymore. At least not quite yet. And we've got the witches producing everything else that we need to continue our potion making, to make our skeletons a one-click kill, which is fantastic news for us. Okay, how do I do this? Let's go this way. This place is going to get kind of noisy fairly quickly. Also, I have no idea where that pig's going to end up if he walks through one of these. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to encase this in a never-act, never-brick kind of structure to make things that bit more tidy. I'm probably going to tear down the big water feature that's on top of the witch hut as well, because it was a nice idea, but it doesn't quite work out in practice. So maybe I'll have some more of a witch-themed kind of facade to that. Oh, look at me using the big words. Okay. Next on our list, user-friendly. So, the skeletons are perfectly safe. You can occasionally get them trying to shoot you through the iron bars, but by and large, you will never get hit by the skeletons, which is good. The zombie pigmen and the witches are going to be dealt with far away from you, so you'll never have to worry about getting hurt by them, which is good, because the witches are a huge pain. And I kind of think they shouldn't have been added as just a standard mob. They'll meet on your travels through the plains or anything. Whoop. Who do we have here? Some strangeness going on in the chats. Okay. So that part is user-friendly, it's safe. A few clicks as possible. There is no clicking involved in the witches, and that is our... stick this obsidian back in here. That is our flint and steel gone, so I'll head back over here and make another one, and maybe we'll grab some Z's while we're at it. So yeah, using the splash health potions combined with the minimal health of the skeletons, we can pretty much one-click them to death, which means we can gather a ton of XP from a single click. At present, I don't know how easy it is to collect experience with 0 clicks. I've seen some people do things with dogs before, but that requires a compromise on the safety of things, because you have to get hit for the dogs to then attack. Though that is an interesting idea, and I kind of like it. Let's see, yes, I do have some more flint. I should only need the one more. Flint and steel, and then we can go and have a look at the drops we're getting from the witches. Oop, there we go. Minimal time investment. There is a mild investment with the skeletons, because they're running on the timers that are inside the actual spawners. That's why the big mob systems are better, because they produce much higher frequencies of mobs, even if they produce various kinds. The witches, for example, kind of are a bad thing to have in your standard mob farm, because otherwise what you're usually producing is spiders that you can cancel out by designing your mob trap properly, and skeletons and zombies, which are both undead, which you can kill with, well, firstly, have the same health, which you can kill with health potions, which are perfectly fine as far as users are concerned. The Ender, for example, could do with using splash harm potions, but that would give a little bit of unsafetiness, if that's even a word, to the trap. And let's see, okay, so minimal time investment, few clicks as possible, and reduce boredom wherever possible. That was one of my larger issues, wasn't it? Well, around here you can enjoy the scenery, you can watch the witches going around in there. You can eventually I'll probably have some kind of nice coating to this, so you can maybe see through parts of it, so you can see all of the portals going. And I actually have my sounds turned down here because these guys are loud. And you can craft, you can smelt, you can do all that good stuff. So you have things to do around here. You don't have to just be standing in a static position. You can actually be getting stuff done. And let us take a trip down now to well, actually, one thing I need to do is first eat some pork, which I got from using one of I was so low on food after dying a few times, because over there underground is a hitherto largely unexplored abandoned mine shaft, which was lovely to find out about. So let me see, I just need to go over here quickly, because this is stuck on. So I have an idea on how to fix this. But when it does that, it sticks, because nothing can spawn there, so nothing can trigger this to turn off, which is bad. But let's see, if we pop over here and go down a kind of sort of a vine ladder, I kind of like the look of the vines on the side of here, actually. So it has this kind of overgrown look to it, like this is something that's been here a very long time and it's still running, just on the very last day of its construction. Yeah, I actually got that reminds me, if anyone remembers, I did a mod a very long while ago at this point called Nature Reclaims, sort of spinning off of my absolute adoration of a series called Life After People. And I got a message recently from someone wondering when and or if that's coming back, and the answer to that is I'd really like to do it. I haven't had the time lately, but I really like to do it. Oh yeah, there's a... Oh, yeah, that's a zombie. Every so often we get a zombie or a skeleton fall in here as well, but I'm not exactly sure how it is. And oh yeah, that was something I forgot to mention. Witches in mob systems, kind of a problem, because A, they have higher health, they have 26, compared to the zombie and the skeleton having 20, which means you need to drop them at least 29 blocks before they'll die. And if they survive, witches will immediately start drinking health potions to regain their health, which means you then do not have a mob at minimal health. Bit of a problem. And also they're healed by healing potions, rather than killed. But anyway, let's check out the drops. Look at that, we are getting all of the redstone. And apparently we got some slime. I'm not quite sure where that would have come from. Maybe a slime spawned in there by accident. But we have over a stack now of glass bottles. We're getting a stack of spider eyes, a lot of sticks. That's why I kind of want to filter those out. We're getting glowstone, tons of gunpowder for days, and sugar as well. Well, we could manufacture sugar upstairs in the automated farm anyways, but... once I have the iron for the task, we'll be leading this down there and up a item lift to get the items into a convenient storage location. But for that, we probably need to make an iron golem farm, because it's getting harder and harder to find iron around here. And it's getting substantial, and the more caves I light up, the more unsafe things get. But that's it for today. Next time we might try and expand that a little bit, or maybe we'll try and fix up the sticking on that. I don't know, we'll see. All the more, lots of fun mob grindy stuff going, and lots of intricate little redstone circuits, which I adore. I love redstone. So with that, I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or favorite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now. Catch you later.